Hi, I'm Ben with the Shoppy Farm, and I'm really excited. We've been trying to do this for a long time. This is my very old friend, Andre Gamard, and in the capacity that he's going to be with us today, this is Chef Andre Gamard. He's responsible for all of our confections. The Pate de Fruit, which we're gonna get a pronunciation correction here on that one.
Not yet. We'll get there in a minute.
But I wanted to get him on camera so you can know who creates this stuff, because it certainly is not me. But Andre's been a friend a long time. He's retired chef, got dragged up here, which is a whole nother story for another time.
That's for the folklore.
Yeah. But he's been a chef his entire life, so I was hoping maybe, Andre, you could just talk us through where you were born, a little bit of your background.
Well, let's see. I was born in France, naturally, from a French father and an Italian mother. So that's why, I became a good American. Nice little cocktail right there. But anyway, after World War II in France, and France was not doing too well, so everybody had to go to find a job very fast. I was one of the lucky ones. I was sent to trade school, and end up then after some trial and error, they finally decided I might be okay to become a cook. So I did like the idea because there was plenty of food at home. And this was a luxury for us. This was in 1957. So a little while back. So after 4 years of school and a lot of trial and error, and I was sent to the big city because that's about the only place where you could find work. So I ended up in Paris, like every other, cook in France. And from there on, and I learned a little bit more about my trade. It was a very difficult time, being away from the family, and the working conditions were not too much fun. But we did learn a lot, and that I would always be thankful for that, because regardless of the hard working condition, they kept teaching us very well. And I stay with the job, even if most of my classmates quit the line of work within the first 3 years. 60% of them quit the first, in 3 years. But I stick with it because I like it. And it was time to look at some horizon, and I ended up going to Canada for 5 years, which was very, very nice transition, very pleasant. And I came to New York City, and for a while, Woodstock, which was very nice. Then after I ended up in Washington DC, and Washington DC suburb for 37 years. Actually, I work in many different places, including my own place, which, like every business, had its up and down, and the good, the bad, the ugly, but we remember the good. And when I retired, I came to Maine, which is rural area, more like where I come from in France. And I met Ben, and we became very close friends. It's like second family here, and he kind of come in till I started cooking again. Have to plant the seed, you get me every time.
Absolutely. I have benefited from many of Andre's experimentations. Andre feeds us all very well. And he keeps threatening to leave us, so this involving him in the farm is one of my ways to try to trap him here as long as I can. So Andre, let's talk about this pot de fruit. So we started talking about. I thought we were going to make some gummies, but Andre told me no, that wasn't what we were going to do.
I was not good at making gummies. That's why we had to trade. I tried.
Hey kitties.
But the result of the gummy was not into our standards and we wanted to present. We could make some, but not the standards and Ben and I were looking for. So we decided to stay on the fancy side. So I said, since I got a sweet tooth and I love Pate de Fruit, always been one of my things, I went back to, to my whole root. But after not doing that for about 25 years, I was a little bit rusty. And we had quite a few failures.
Yeah, there was a lot of complaining from Andre. I don't know how many times you threatened to quit.
I almost quit. I finally did. And, I don't quit when I only got to quit when I'm on top. So I was far in the bottom. I was not going to quit. But it took me a while to get it back, Now, I'm back to it. I went back to my metric measurement, and which is much more precise. So, and we got excellent supplier. We use, mainly French product. I don't want to be chauvinist, but unfortunately, when it comes down to food, they still know what they're doing. So
it does appear that way. We tried to go a few other routes, and
Yeah.
it just didn't work as well.
there's some good one, but the best is still what we are using because we don't take shortcut. Absolutely not acceptable.
Well, and what we were trying to do, because we only work with our very full spectrum extracts, which have a distinct flavor, which Andre was not impressed with. But we also are unwilling to compromise on the efficacy of the product, which we have to maintain our organic full spectrum extract, and that was tough. We fought with that every little milligram that we could put in there or not put in there.
Not too much, but enough, and only specific food can absorb the flavor and the taste of the CBD without harming the taste of the candy. So you got to learn to make that little compromise in between. And so far with the kind of products that we've been putting out, the flavor we've been putting out, I think, it worked well.
I think so.
And we are able to keep the quality, which is extremely important to Ben and to me also, because I don't make compromise when it comes down to food, so that's what we do.
And so you add that your Andre's unwillingness to compromise on the flavor and my unwillingness to compromise on the organic and the quality, and it makes for a very laborious procedure to get to where we're both happy. But I think especially the raspberry, I think it's just incredible.
I think I like the apricot better now.
Yeah. And we have some other, we have a couple of other flavors that we're working on here,
That
which hopefully we get to market someday.
pretty soon, as soon as we get it. First we got to taste it to make sure it's going to be to the standard of
We'll see.
clientele, because I'm sure clientele by now is starting to understand your
Hopefully,
quality.
right. Hopefully the expectations are high.
Yes,
At this point,
you
I
should
hope they
stay
are.
there because where you develop good product and we got to keep it this way. But the new flavor, one of them I'm not sure is going to cut, but we're going to see.
Well, we'll see.
But we got two more that are going to be quite interesting.
And we've had some that didn't cut it.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just didn't sell. They weren't good or not good enough.
They couldn't make it.
Yeah. And on that note, I've tricked him here into another endeavor, and I do hope in not too far off in the future we're going to start releasing some chocolates. which my father is particularly excited about. He's benefited from all of the failures thus far.
And there is some.
Yeah.
But they still taste good.
They just don't look good.
They don't look good, no. But they taste good.
We were actually just in the kitchen sampling some of the most recent ones, and they are delicious. I'm pretty excited about
Yeah.
that too.
Now we got to make them look good.
Yeah, we will. We will. We will.
We will, yeah, in time. Yeah, it's just, you know, we're not afraid of failure. That's why we always will, succeed.
I hope so. Well, because of the rejects, so it's good.
Yeah.
And like I said, my dad's he's a big fan of the rejects
Yeah.
as well.
I got a few volunteers and for the reject.
So all right. Well, let's do this. Our pot de fruit. Say it for me again. How do we do
Pate de fruit.
Pate de fruit.
Pate de fruit.
Pate de fruit.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, I've been saying it, but I still can't quite do it right.
You need
My,
a couple of glasses of
Yeah.
sauce and you will be fine.
my English accent doesn't.
No, you
It's
do
not
it well.
compatible with
No.
Andre's ear.
That's like my English accent too. Sorry guys.
That's okay.
But
Well, I know. I mean, we have lots of stuff I want to talk with Andre about, and I think that we'll probably wrap this up today here
Yeah.
because we try to keep these to 5 or 10 minutes.
Mhm.
But we have lots of fun stuff we need to bring Andre back for. So we will do that soon. So Andre, thank you very much.
au revoir et à bientôt.
And thank you everybody. We will be back soon.